We have Danny Scott, who is the founder of CoinCorner. How's it going, Danny?
I'm good. Thank you very much, Cody. Thank you for having me on here.
Yeah, man. Of course. How's everything with the pandemic where you are?
As I mentioned there, I think we've been lucky in the Isle of Man. We've had 0 cases, I think, since the start of June. So we've been very lucky, sort of clamped down early on and locked down the borders early on for the island. So we're all back to normal, back to work, offices and restaurants, everything's all back open as normal. We just can't leave the island, which is the downside.
Yeah. So how did you get started in crypto?
So I was back from 2009. While I was at university, I heard about it then, kind of ignored it, doing my exams and so on. I then popped up again 2011, 2012, kind of started paying a little bit more attention to it at that point. And at the time working for a startup, and one of the angles they were looking at was trying to find competitive advantage over other competitors in the space. And one of them options was accepting Bitcoin payments. And we looked at that. Unfortunately, couldn't convince the owner of the company at the time to go ahead with that and move forwards, because it was early on and they weren't techie. And, we're trying to explain to them what Bitcoin is in 2012. It was just unfortunately unrealistic at the time.
Yeah.
But then after that point, that company got acquired by a big European player. And then myself and one of CoinCorner's co-founders, we then left the company and started our own software company. And after that, we slowly snowballed into Bitcoin there and began mining Bitcoin, and eventually led on to CoinCorner.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's a good way to get into crypto for sure. So what is CoinCorner? So
we're UK Bitcoin exchange. So we are UK, Europe, and some other various countries around the world. Effectively similar to Coinbase-esque style, focused less on the traders, more on the retail market, so the on-ramp for consumers. So since day zero, we have pretty much tried to make it easy to onboard people and bring people into the space and into the industry. We did that by introducing card payments very early on, back in 2014, I think that was. We were one of the first ones to introduce card payments. That was, again, people go online these days. They don't want to go online and try and make a bank transfer. That's kind of alien to people outside of our industry. So they want to go on and Amazon style, you go onto the website, you put your card details in and you buy your product of what you buy. So we tried to make that experience as seamless and smooth as possible.
That's really cool, man.
But yeah, I think CoinCorner since that as well, we've 6 years, just over 6 years old now. And then we've since began to expand from the sort of the main retail side of things. Which is the B2C side. We're looking now to the B2B side as well and onboarding merchants. We've had a couple of, we've only just sort of began that venture, which is the CoinCorner checkout, which is the Bitcoin payment gateway. We've introduced Lightning payments into that, which again, we believe is more of a payment tool for Bitcoin, which is the sort of direction we're trying to take. And we have a lot more. We've got a couple of announcements coming up for some merchants that we've just recently onboarded. So hopefully that'll come in the coming weeks. And generally, CoinCorner now is kind of trying to become a platform, a website where customers can not only onboard within Bitcoin and come just to buy and sell Bitcoin. We've introduced the cashback scheme recently, so you can get Bitcoin back on any purchases in UK companies. We've got about 750 companies, I think, now in the UK, and growing very quickly at the minute. We've introduced features like product search. So if you're looking for a particular product, so you're looking for a set of pans or something like that, you can go onto our website, search for that, and you don't have to then try and figure out which merchant sells it that you can go and buy them from. So we're trying to make everything as simple as possible for the end user to introduce them into Bitcoin, into the sector.
Yeah, that's huge, man. Especially getting Bitcoin back on your purchases. It's definitely aiding with mass adoption, and I wish more companies were doing that are able to. So
yeah, I think it was nice. We saw some of the American guys doing it out there, and there was no real UK competitor. So we looked at that and thought, it's an opportunity there. That's not only an opportunity for ourselves in this industry, but also there is UK people that wanted it and there was a demand for it. So we thought, why not fill that gap? And it also helps trying to introduce people that may want to dip their toes into Bitcoin, but are not quite ready to come and buy thousands of pounds worth of it yet. They just want to test it out, and it gives them the opportunity. So it was a good on-ramp for people as well.
Absolutely, man. Have you seen more signups in the past 6 months to a year? Or?
Yeah, we actually put some stats out a couple of months back from the March crash and that sort of crisis time. We saw a massive uptick at that point. We were roughly from the start of the year, I can't remember, I can get the stats for you afterwards and we can share them in show notes if you like. I think we was roughly about 20% increase in registrations month on month from January all the way through still till now, I think. So it has been a constant increase, 20% increment on previous months, month on month. So we are seeing quite the uptick at the minute, which is good.
Wow, that's incredible, man. That's nice to hear. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to appreciate that. So
yeah, it's good from the industry perspective. Sorry, just cut you
no worries, yeah.
Good from the company, of course, but it's great for the industry perspective because it's showing new interest. We are getting older customers coming back and purchasing, but we're getting an increase in signups now, which is kind of more reminiscent of maybe 2016 sort of time period as the build up before the bull run, which I think is kind of the position we're in now and we're potentially experiencing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. Do you think it's more of retail coming into the space or actual institutional money that's doing this?
There's a little bit of the price. Anyone that tries to predict the price is kind of not laughable. Don't want to be disrespectful to people there, but it's just an incredibly difficult thing to try and predict. I think institutional, yes, is slowly coming in, but that's taking time. I think we've talked to people in the background as well from an institutional level, and there is movement there, but there's no major movement in terms of like actually getting them over the line. It's all kind of a build up at the minute, which is good to still see. It's coming in the background there. The retail piece of it is the thing we do see. So, when I'm talking there about the 20% increase in registrations month on month, that is then retail side coming in and purchasing. So we see that as, I think there was quite a few of the exchanges in the last couple of months as well have put their stats out as they've effectively just sat parallel with ours, and we've seen the same increase as they've seen along the way. So I think that's retail influence coming in. I think it's great. People always talk about the institutional money coming in and it'll help drive the price and so on. But what we saw in 2017 was pure retail, and that was pure retail taking the price to 20K. So, we took the price to 20K retail. Why do you need institutional to take it back to that? I think it'll slowly, it's kind of building on its foundation at the minute, and we're slowly edging back towards the all-time high 20K figure. And I think that will be, 6 months off still of building slowly and preparing. But then eventually, I think retail usually comes in when the all-time high kicks in again, and that's what really drives the next all-time high, I guess.
For sure, man, absolutely. And when Bitcoin eventually, hopefully, hits 20K, and I think it will, we're going to see a whole flood of new users, and hopefully into your business and everyone else's, and hopefully the community will be a little bit more mature than it has been in 2016, 2017.
Yeah, hopefully.
So how would you suggest someone kind of gets involved in crypto just as a beginner?
One of the things I get a lot of people ask me about, should I buy Bitcoin? The standard question, should I buy? Is it the right time to buy, or should I buy, or so on? So I kind of end up coming back. I've been round in circles with the question over the years, and I used to try and explain things. But what I end up saying is the short answer is do your own research, understand Bitcoin, figure out what you're wanting to do. When you understand it, then that's kind of like the right time to buy. And when you don't have to ask me that question, that's the time to buy, because you understand it and you don't need to ask the question. So I do kind of always push back onto people rather than, I could turn around to them and say, oh yeah, buy now. Best time to buy is now, quick, get in and buy it. But, that'd be wrong of me. I think morally, it doesn't really sit well with myself anyway. So I'd rather them go and do the research. The liability is on them to figure it out. So that's why I always push back on. Go and do your own research, try and understand it a little bit. I can guide them into what to go and read and what to understand, and guide that direction. Generally then it's just a case of, go and try it out, go and buy something, go and buy some small amount. Don't go and buy 10 grand, 100 grand straight away or anything stupid. Try and figure it out first and understand why you're buying it, which is a big question. I think a lot of people come into the space to try and make quick buck, get rich quick style, and that unfortunately quite often falls flat on its face and doesn't quite work out as they'd planned. A lot of people come in, they're not educated investors, shall we say, and at that point they'll buy, the price takes a little dip, they panic, they sell, and they've lost money, and so on. So it's really about talking to that person when they're first looking to come into the space and try and understand why they're coming into the space. Are they doing this as a long-term investment? Are they trying to get a quick win? Are they trying to use it for a payment to buy a product online somewhere? There's lots of different reasons and different use cases. So it's a really difficult question, I guess, to answer. Sorry, I've gone a roundabout way there of answering the question with lots of different answers there, but it really is. It's specific to the person that you're talking to, really, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, man, and I completely agree with you. So just also wanted to say thanks again for coming on. This was a great chat. And where can people find you?
Mostly, thank you for having me on again. Just to let you know that mostly Twitter is usually the place I'm quite active on. So that's CoinCorner Danny on Twitter. Obviously, CoinCorner.com if you're looking to buy Bitcoin, UK based or European. And I do spend quite a bit of time as well on Reddit, although I'm less vocal maybe and less more anonymous, let's say, on Reddit, but also very active on the Reddit side as well.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks again for everybody listening, and talk to everybody soon.